Alrighty, folks, we back, and Fire Emblem Engage is finally upon us. The game came out today. Unfortunately, I don't have the game yet. I'm gonna go to the store later to pick it up, but we have this banner here in Fire Emblem Heroes based on the Hero Rises event for Engage, and prior to this, we also had a freebie select pull on this banner where we were able to just go in and choose one of the units for free. I already went ahead and did that. I chose the Halloween Corrin as my freebie. It was kind of a toss-up for me, though. I couldn't decide between Corrin or Lyn. Like, godlike reflexes would have been really good, especially to just pass on to a rearmed hero, so I could potentially duplicate that skill and get it on multiple other units. But in the end, I just decided to go for Corrin because she has equally good fodder and she's just a better all-around unit than Lyn is. So that was my choice. Let me know in the comments down below, actually, which of these units did you go ahead and choose for free? If you saw the video I did later on, or earlier on this month or last month, I told everyone to choose this guy for free in case you did not have him already. In the event that you have all these units already, then I would say probably go for a fodder pull like Lyn or Corrin, or if you're just looking for a unit to use, then definitely I think Corrin and Roy are the standouts here. So those were my thoughts then, but seeing that this is an actual banner now, and not only that, but if we take a look over here, this is an 8% rate banner that has no pity breakers. It's only the focus units. So that kind of spices things up a bit. I was not expecting this banner to be this good. And on top of that, everyone is going to get access to a spark here. It doesn't matter if you have Fey Pass or not. You just do your 40 summons and you can spark one of these characters for free. And I'm just going to tell you guys right now, I think there is a color in particular that is quite good to snipe on if you were interested in spending orbs. I'm actually not going to. I'm just going to hold on to my orbs for later. The main reason being that all of these guys are pretty old at this... Well, I shouldn't say pretty old, but they are relatively old. In this game, in Fire Emblem Heroes, if a unit is like 5 months old, that already means they're on the cusp of getting power crept. Literally, when this Flame Lyn came out, a month later, we got this Halloween Corrin, and she's just a better version of Flame Lyn. So, that's just a little bit to prove my point there. But, okay, we're going to go ahead and talk about each color. We're going to start with red. So we have Brave Marth, we have Legendary Sigurd, and we have Baby Boo Boo Ike on red. All of them are color sharing. So if you were sniping red, those would be the 3 5-stars you could possibly get. I have no complaints at all about Sigurd or Ike, actually, surprisingly. Because if we're talking about on a banner like this, where you can easily get some merges on him, well, maybe I shouldn't say easily, because it's still 3 color sharing, but if you were to get a lot of merges on him, he does score pretty good. He's a duo hero with a 195 BST increase, so he would be a competent unit if you were to get a lot of merges on him. The downside, though, is this guy. So we have Brave Marth here. I guess his fodder is a little bit better now, because he's got Even Tempest, and we just got Odd Tempest as a seal. So if you combine the two, you just get +1 movement at the start of every turn. It does make you susceptible to stall ploy, but it's not that big a deal. He also has Distant Pressure, which is okay. Spurn 3, we may be seeing Spurn 4 on the horizon at some point. So his fodder got a little bit better, but as a unit, he's just not really that great. So red is kind of okay. I mean, having a legendary hero too is pretty baller. But I would say red is probably not the thing you want to be focusing on. Okay, then we have colorless. So we have the Ascended Celica. We have the Scion Leaf and Seliph. And then we also have Legendary Micaiah. I have no idea how she ended up snaking her way onto this banner. It really should have just been the Summer Micaiah instead. That unit is way better than this one. But regardless, I would say colorless is also a skip. This unit feels a little underpowered to me. Maybe when they get a refine, they'll be a little better, but they do a lot of good, like, supporty things. Like, they have a lot of mobility. They've got Canto 1 built in. They have Nyorin Zeal, making them one of only, like, 3 units in the game to have Gale Force as a ranged unit. They have a pretty okay harmonic skill where they grant Resonant Blades and Desperation. And they also, I think they grant a guaranteed follow-up attack as well, or a guaranteed extra attack. So they gain a brave attack from their harmonic skill, which is pretty much what they need. They don't have enough sources of damage on their actual weapon. So all that stuff is good. Also, they got Miracle, but I'm not really the biggest fan of this unit right here. They don't hit hard enough. Their attack is pretty low, and they don't have any ways to gain bonus damage or true damage or anything like that. So they're not my favorite. And then we have Celica over here. She's the only ascended hero on the banner, and the cool thing about that is you will get a Broccoli Floret if you summon her, and you haven't already summoned her. So that is nice. But again, I'm actually kind of underwhelmed by this Celica. Off camera, like this is some behind the scenes. I was watching Wylia do Aether Raid's run where she had this Celica, and she was running her in AR to be like a nuke unit to take out whatever far save unit the enemy may have had. And the far save unit this Celica was up against was Winter Jafar, of all people, and she still could not get around him. She could not kill him. So that's a little bit eye-opening. If she can't deal with a unit that's that old, and it's not like Winter Jafar is some beast or anything like that. He's just a very outdated Tempest Trial unit by this day and age. So that kind of soured my opinion on this Celica a little bit. I feel like she doesn't have enough damage to really be a can opener like you would want her to be. Certainly not by comparison to units like the Desert Lindy or the Legendary Veronica, etc. Those are the type of can openers you want. So my opinion on colorless is that it might be the worst color on this whole banner. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at green, and green is pretty solid, surprisingly, even though green is the color that has 4 units on it, so green has the most. We have the Groomroy, who I already said this guy is amazing. Not necessarily in terms of fodder, though. If you already have your 1 copy of him, I would say that's good enough. You don't need more. His harmonic skill gives Treachery, which is just busted beyond belief, especially when combined with Legendary and Bride Lilina, because for whatever reason, Treachery scales with Gifted Magic. So they are a pretty devastating duo to have. We have the Summer Erica here. This one's actually pretty good for fodder because she has Attack and Speed Oath 4. However, as far as usability is concerned, I'm not the biggest fan of this Erica, so she's just a fodder pull. Then we have the OST Lucina, who's a really good unit, actually. She is one of the better near-save options. She's got a lot of speed. She comes with Savvy Fighter. She is still the only unit in the game to have that. And she also has Kestrel Stance, which is quite good. Future Vision is probably the best assist that an armored unit can have, by the way. It's just swap and a second action. And already swap is like my go-to assist for armored units anyway. So there's a lot of good things about this Lucina. She is a very good unit. And then finally, we got the legendary male Byleth, who never really went anywhere. He's been as good as he ever was since he came out. Mainly because he just passively grants null follow-up to allies. So regardless of him being able to fight or not, he's still being able to support the team. And Sublime Heaven is one of only a few specials that can nullify damage reduction. So he's really good too. Also, he's a legendary hero, so he wouldn't be a bad unit to get some merges on. So I think green might surprisingly be in second place here. There's not really a bad pull on green. But the final color we're going to talk about, blue, only has 2 units on it. And if you guys remember at the very start of the video, I was already debating on which of these 2 units I wanted to take with the free pull. So that already is indication that both of these units are very good. So Lyn is the only source of godlike reflexes. Very good fodder. She also has Speed Smoke 4 and Shield Pulse. Not really too sure if you need Shield Pulse right now, but Speed Smoke 4, definitely very good fodder alongside godlike reflexes. For usability, she's okay. My only concern with this Lyn is that she's trying to be like an all-around good fighter with like enemy phase potential as well as player phase potential. But she doesn't have a way to gain distant counter unless we're talking about summoner duels where that one specific captain seal is available that grants your unit distant counter and also all stats of 6. When that's available, this Lyn becomes something else. But without that, I feel like this Corrin is just better. She's basically the same exact version of Lyn. Negating Fan is a better version of godlike reflexes, in my opinion. You don't have to do a speed check. You're getting more bonus damage. And on top of that, she's just, like, able to have Disencounter in the seal, because we have that Disencounter Dragon Sacred Seal already. So, Corrin is better, but not necessarily for fodder. Dragon's Wrath 4 is still really good. I think this Corrin is still the only unit that has that. Also, she's got Attack and Speed Finish 4, which is really good fodder too. So you can't go wrong necessarily with Corrin. Even if you were considering Lyn as a fodder pull, they're both just really good. And they're the only 2 units on blue, so that means that color sniping blue, you're going to get one or the other. And getting either of them to plus 10 would be pretty bananas, honestly. They score pretty good for infantry type units, and they also are just very dominant tanks. So I would say that's how I'm going to call this banner. If you want to summon, which I don't think it's actually the worst idea in the world, this is a very good banner, surprisingly. So I would say blue is in first place, followed by maybe green or red. Red might actually sneak in there too, because there's only 3 units on red. But I would still give the edge to green here. And then colorless is just in dead last. The units on colorless, I'm not really impressed by any of them, to be honest, at this current time. So those are my thoughts on the Engage banner. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. And also, let me know what you guys think of Fire Emblem Engage. I haven't been able to join in on the fun just yet, but I will be picking up the game in a couple of hours. So that's all for today. This is your boy Tacho signing out. So take care, fellas, and I'll catch y'all again on the flip side.